Earlier, we took a look at January's vehicle sales numbers, cars showing a big improvement from a year ago, but the truck market continues to shrink. Year-on-year, sales of medium and heavy trucks fell almost 20%. Month-on-month, they were down just over 4%. Joining me now is Raymond Schulz, Marketing Services Manager at Nissan Diesel South Africa. Raymond, thanks for coming to the studio this afternoon. It seems that the consumers are regaining some confidence in the markets at the moment. Businesses, not quite as confident, are they?
Quite true, Stephen. Yes, I think the truck market in general, January, always the performance a bit slow. Companies tend to take stock of the previous year's business. They look at their contracts and reassess their fleet and the requirements from their customers, and then actually make the purchase decision more in February and going forward to March. Always early in the year, they wait for expectations in terms of economic figures, and then they make their decision then once all those factors and information is ready. So.
If you've been talking to your customers, what are they telling you? Are they starting to place orders for the next few months?
There is a tendency towards the heavy commercial vehicles, definitely. I think it's the expectations of the big one, World Cup. So the heavy commercial vehicles between 4 tons and 10 tons, there's a lot of logistics and retail expectations, and already retail sales are showing improvements. So we always preempt the truck market, and as you see customers, ordering those vehicles with those expectations, that gives us a bit of a positive view on 2010 as well.
Well, we've been talking about heavy commercial vehicles. What sort of size of truck is that?
Heavy commercial vehicles are between 3.5 tons upwards to about 10 tons. The mediums, of course, below 3.5 tons, excluding the light commercial vehicles and the bakkies. And then the extra heavies, of course, over 10 tons, the 56-ton rigs, which you see on the roads daily.
Well, you heard the stats that we talked about a moment ago, down 19.7% year-on-year, 4% month-on-month. How did Nissan Diesel South Africa's stats compare with those ones?
Our figures, more or less 18% down as well in terms of the January sales figures for last year. If you look at the actual top 3 performance for January, Mercedes-Benz did 17.59%, and as second with 14.2%, and then Hino, of course, in the 3rd position. So there seems to be a tendency, and also during last year, we've seen that the top brands, the top 4 or 5 brands actually perform better than the rest. And anything below 5, the top 4 contenders actually scored above 10% market share for 2009. So it actually shows that customers are looking towards better brands, and they're making those decisions accordingly.
Now, Raymond, of course, we heard about the altercation with Absa last year, where it was accused of not financing your customers. You've since signed up with Westbank. Has that made any difference to the sales coming through your doors?
We've just recently announced the Westbank alliance. So we've actually started on the 1st of February, so the operational structures have been put into place. So still early days for us to actually compare the figures with last year. We found them, in terms of the current environment, very, very bullish. They've actually invested into a commercial vehicle structure. So we're quite positive that alliance will help us and recover some of the losses for last year, which we've had in terms of the sales reduction in numbers, especially in the extra heavy commercial vehicle sales.
I mean, do you think the fact that Absa wasn't financing some of your sales may have led to part of the decline, or was Absa just being sensible in a very tough market?
I think they have been sensible to an extent. The direct focus on the truck market was a bit of a blow, but one can't blame. I think all banks in general last year reduced their approval rates. So no, I think it was a business decision on their side. We adapted well, and we remained in the top 3 as contenders. So we've adjusted well according to that, and we will do that again this year and support customers with good financing support towards the Westbank alliance.
Of course, we know that Westbank has only 10% share of the market. It's looking to grow that. Do you think that its aggressive sales could help your cause this year?
Absolutely. I think they've showed the intention and discussions, and that was their comment exactly, that they're coming from a low market base. They want to be part of this market. The investment in staff is there, and also they purchased the company CLM, Contract Lease Management, which was part of the Unitrans scenario, and that also shows commitment. So we're very bullish that will actually be positive for us and our customers.
Okay, we're almost out of time. You said that 2010 supporting the heavy trucks market. What happens after 2010? Will we see that support falling away again?
I think one must look at the long-term trend. The truck market, 7 and 14-year cycles. There's obviously replacements to be done. We see a very bullish market starting in 2012, and we might see the growth starting again, which we've seen in 2006 and 2007.